definitely start there. I think that's where I started in the research
Okay.
as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that first, I guess my research is put into those three objectives. Yeah.
Mhm.
Objective one, I came into grad school and said, I want to create a cheat sheet for brewers so they know what to expect when hop creep happens. It's going to be great. And then I was like, well, that was stupid immediately. um, you ask 10 brewers how they dry hop, and it's different temperature, different time,
I
rousing,
know,
no
right?
rousing, drop, no drop. And so that was really stupid of me. But I still did it anyway. And I eliminated all of those factors. And then
Hmm.
the only thing I was changing was the hop product.
Hmm.
Um, and so I tested quantity. So if you dry hopped it 2 or 4 pounds per barrel, will you see more hop creep?
Hmm.
I tested different product types. So T90, Cryo, Noble, Whole Cone, all of those. And then tried to divide them in growing region and I think that's growing region. I think that's it. Maybe there's
Yeah,
one
that
more.
sounds right from what I'm remembering off the top of my head. And I do like, I actually do like, and this is certainly my American brain processing it, but I am glad that you're speaking the language of a hopping rate per barrel or per volume, and especially because sometimes when I look at research, you'll see, oh, well, this was dry hopped at 1 gram per liter or different things like that. So I'm actually wondering, do you have a metric conversion of those two, just like written right in your thing? If you don't, it's no big deal. But if you do, and could holler them out, that would be great. But if not, it's no worries.
Oh, you know what? I have my presentation pulled up as we're talking just so I can,
Because I will have
okay.
some very thankful international listeners, and you don't
Nice,
have to do
nice.
it for everything, but especially when we are talking kind of those two big benchmarks, for
Yes.
that's fantastic. So if you do have it, that's great. If you don't, no worries.
It'll be really annoying because the way I did it apparently in this presentation was a little dumb. 0.9 kilograms per
Uh-huh.
1.17 hectoliter,
All right.
and then 1.18 per 1.17 hectoliter. So,
Okay. Sweet. Sweet. Yeah,
yes.
that's just the direct conversion to barrel, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
1.17. Yeah, yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
That's the
Okay.
way I did it
So
apparently. Yeah.
hat tip to all of our international folks on that. So anyways, let's keep rolling into that. I like that you covered all the different types. Was it like the common questions that people were asking around this problem that kind of drove that data set that you were looking for right there? Like,
Um,
had you heard speculation that, are we getting hop creep from UK grown noble hops in the same way that we are from Pacific Northwest hops? Is that kind of how that was driven?
I think two things drove it for me. One,
Mhm.
um, there's a lot of brewing myths around, and we know that some of them are great, and some of them are
Mhm.
valuable. Some of them should maybe die. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, the first thing I wanted to almost prove is I think I'm still fighting this battle a little
Mhm.
bit of if you use dry hops, you have hop creep, period. And I hear all the time, I don't have hop creep. I don't see it. I don't have it.
Mhm.
And I just feel my soul just like dies a little bit. I'm like, okay, got it. And if they're open to the conversation, obviously I'll like talk to them more. But a lot of times it's not that way. But so I wanted to test everything I could get my hands on and be like, you're using whole cone, you're using cryo, they don't creep. I beg to differ. There's not
Mhm.
one hop that I used that did not exhibit hop creep,
Mhm.
period. And so I just kind of went a little off the brewing myth of this cryo doesn't have hop creep. It does. It still has
Sure.
green matter.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so you mentioned the green matter. So that's a pretty big link then. I'm assuming is the green matter is what is the driving force. then
Yes,
behind what we see as creep?
I I definitely think so. Whether
Mhm,
the enzymes or the starch or the microbes that are giving the enzymes, it's all on that green matter, all in the
mhm,
bract. The starch is definitely being stored in the bract.
mhm,
And then the lupulin glands, I think they would add a little bit just based on some of those compounds, but I don't think that you would see it. That's cryo does creep less, but not
mhm,
necessarily the least, you know?
mhm.
What
And
I found
I don't
go ahead.
go no, you go ahead, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Um, what I did find interesting is, the one that creeped the least was whole cone, which, you know, we think would make sense. But what happens when you have that whole cone is that the cell is intact. And so when you crush that cell open, that's when you're getting tons of hop creep. And so it's understanding that whatever's on the outside is not contributing as much as the broken open cell, which is the
Okay.
ground pellets. When you grind them up, you're breaking open those cells. And so it's having access to the things inside that cell that's providing hop
Mm,
creep.
okay, okay, alright. Um, interesting, interesting. So, this would lead me to believe that, it sounds like well, not really. So, my question would be advanced hop products. So, like the flowable stuff that we see that can theoretically work in your whirlpool or in a hop dip situation or something like that. Are those contributors to creep? And it could also be difficult because so many times they're used in conjunction with cryo or T90 or something else like that. Was that something that you looked at with your research?
I did not use any of the flowable products
Mhm.
in mine. I think I did this in my first year of my PhD, and I don't even know if they really were widely available then. I think
Sure,
I went to a couple conferences and kind of started hearing about them, but I did not look into them. I don't imagine
sure,
they would contribute to creep.
sure.
I think it would be different per process, but I don't
Mhm.
imagine that they're
That makes
contributing.
sense. That
But
makes sense.
I think brewers are finding that we still need even back when cryo came out, we were all really amped. We're like, "Oh my god, just the lupulin, it's gonna be incredible." And
Mhm.
then you have all cryo beers and you're like, "This is not good. Something is missing." And
Yeah,
I think unfortunately, we need the green matter.
we
It's
do need
doing
the green
something
matter.
important, even though it is a little bit annoying in this instance. It's doing important things.